Good morning. Today we want to cover steps 19 and 20 on our spiritual couch to 5K. Both of these two steps have to do with doing something physical to help another. Charity. In two different forms. First, the broad form of charity. So step 19 is the broad form of charity. Before we go any further, we have to remember Jesus was a physical person. He existed. Right? And when he left, he didn't say, okay, just pray for people and say nice things to them and you'll be okay. No, in the book of James, it specifically says, faith without actions is dead. Right? Prayer without works is dead. We have to be willing to go out and to help others with our physical person. And that can take a million different ways, or really a million different shapes and forms. You know, helping with a food drive, helping with a food pantry, helping, carrying somebody's groceries out. I know I'm talking a lot about food. I must be hungry this morning. But there's a million different ways. Calling somebody on the phone, praying for them. In this time right now, calling up somebody who's been stuck at home for a long time, grandma and grandpa, or calling up somebody in a nursing home, or maybe somebody who's had this virus, to call them up can change the world. Call a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Call an enemy that you haven't talked to in a while. You know, whatever it is, we should find acts of charity that we can do so that we give of ourselves to others. St. Thomas Aquinas says that love is to want the good of the other. Right? And this virtue of charity, that's what it is. It's love. Right? Acting with the heart of Christ, acting with the love of Christ. Christ wants our good with every ounce of his being. So for us to imitate that, we have to want the good of the other, but we can't just say, oh, I want that, but I'm not going to do anything to do that. No. Love is to let that desire rule us so that our actions follow. So adding acts of charity into our life to train us how to have an act, a desire with the heart of Christ. Okay, part 2 of that is a very specific type of charity. That is almsgiving, tithing. Yes, Father's talking about money, but not for the reason you think, right? I'm fine, right? I've got more money than I need, right? And I've got more things than I need, probably. The people of God are good. They're good to us. We priests don't want for anything, right? So we have to get that out of our mind. When the church asks us for money, we're not asking because we want to build bigger towers. We're not asking because we want a new car. We're not asking because we want a new house. We're asking for people to tithe because that is something that Christ has told us is one of the straightest paths of charity in this life. Let me explain. Tithing is specifically with our money, right? Not tithing, when we talk about time, talent, and treasure, we divide those up for a very important reason, right? When we are talking about our treasure, we are talking about our money. We're talking about our physical possession. When we are willing to give of our money, it shows that we are willing to give of our earthly possessions in order to possess more fully Christ. To get rid of this attachment to material things so that Christ can move more fully in. That's the point of tithing. That's the point of almsgiving. And that is why it's difficult. Because we are very physical beings. And we live in a physical world, and it is scary. Think of right now, it is a scary time to think of giving away money when we don't know if our next paycheck's coming in. That's frightening. And God understands us, but it is also in those times when it hurts the most, and when it's the most deep of a giving, that it means the most. Right? When we are willing to let go of not just our excess, but to let go of a part of what we rely upon, that allows Christ to move even deeper into our hearts. Perhaps into depths that we haven't allowed him to move into before. That doesn't mean we stop being responsible. It doesn't mean that we stop taking care of the things that we have to take care of. But it does mean that we have to evaluate our lives and ask the Lord, okay, what more can I give? What more can I let go of to allow you to move in more fully? So yes, to tithe, to give alms, to allow the Lord to have those things we hold on to in this life so that he can have more of our heart. So 19 acts of charity, adding acts of charity into our life, and 20 to tithe. And if we already do tithe or give alms, to evaluate and to say, okay, Lord, can I do more? God bless you.